So what you are going to see in this tutorial, what is an IAM authentication in AWS RDS, why use it, and step involved in the process. So learn it by doing. If you like what you see today, do subscribe. Together we learn more. Little bit info about IAMDB authentication. First of all, it works with MySQL and PostgreSQL engines only. With this authentication method, you don't need to use a password when you connect to a database instance. Instead, you use an authentication token. Authentication token you can consider something as temporary credentials. Network traffic to and from DB is encrypted, and we are going to see that. You can use IAM as a central authentication management instead of creating user IDs individually on each database. That is a big advantage. Even if your application is running on EC2 instance, then you can use instance profile credentials to connect to database instead of using password. So this again adds to the security. Okay, enough of theory. Now fun part. Learn IAM auth for MySQL by doing it. So let's get started. Yeah, I have already created MySQL RDS database to use for this tutorial. If you haven't seen how to create it, there is another tutorial in the same channel. You can just refer to that, and I can give the link in the description. First is how to enable IAM authentication. So just modify this instance. Yeah, scroll down, you will see information about authentication method, database authentication, right? One is password authentication and second one is password and IAM database authentication. Just click that and make a note of it. So this is how you will enable. Here it is already enabled, but you just select it this way and just continue. Here I'm just going to cancel because it's already there. Okay, so that's what it is. So these are the basic steps which we are supposed to do, and first one is enable IAMDB authentication, that we already did. The second one is create database user account that uses an AWS authentication token. Yeah, so you can create user on database without giving password, and that is how you will do it. So there is a tool called SQL Electron which you can use to do the same thing, but I'm going to show you both the ways. I prefer doing it on command line, but just let me show you if you prefer this method. So you can download this tool and use it. So you can add data source, right? And these are the different engines of databases you can use this tool for, right? So I just want to show you that. But here I created a source, and this is what information we would need. One is like just give some name, then choose database type, which is MySQL here. Then you will need server address, port, even user account which you will use to connect. Here we have created admin user when we created the instance, so that username and password you can give here. And other thing is database name where you want to connect, test DB in this case. And how to get the server details, you can go to database page and connectivity security. You can see the endpoint and port. So these two information you need for connecting along with your credentials, which is admin in this case. Yeah, so I was just showing you what all you need to make the connection, and then your database name. Okay, so that's it. Once you create this source, you can just click on connect, and there you go. You have connection made to the database, and here you can do whatever you want related to what we just talked about, creating user ID without specifying password, because for IAM authentication we do not need password as such, right? And that is the whole purpose of it. Okay, so this is like how this tool is used, but as I said, like I'll do it on command line. So let's go to the command line and just run the commands which I have shown you in notepad first. Okay, so this is how you will make a connection using command line. You can see the almost same information. It doesn't change information what we key in, just little bit syntactical thing you need to take care. Okay, so just connect to the database, give password for the admin account. Yeah, and you are connected to MySQL instance, right? So just do show database just to see what are the databases there? Yeah, so testdb is the one we want to use, and this is MySQL syntax. So yeah, use testdb, right? This we did, and then create user identified with AWS authentication plugin. So this is what it is. This is a syntax, and you can easily find it in AWS documentation, the same syntax I'm using. And then I'm enabling SSL, and this is what I was saying when I mentioned that encryption can be used, right? So this is the way you can enable it on the database side. And the third step is create IAM user with the same name as database user. In this case it is test_user. So now we will go to IAM, click on IAM, and there go to users, and here just add user. You can enable a programmatic access, or if you want console access as well. Okay, so this is a test user we are going to use for this particular tutorial. So you pay attention to the name of the user, test_user, right? So, and it is same like what we created on database. So now fourth step is to add policy. So what policy is doing is it is allowing this particular user to connect to database using this action RDS DB connect, and you can see how resource is identified, which is the database in this case, right? So just go to the configuration, and you can see this resource ID. So basically this resource ID is provided in the policy in resources section, right? So you can see this resource ID, and test_user is the resource, actual resource, right? And then you can see account ID and all that. So this is a password policy. You need to attach it to your test_user in IAM. So let me go to the IAM and add permissions, right? So I'm just having inline policy because I don't have any reason to just create a new policy and attach it to everywhere, right? I just want for this user. So you can see that I created a policy. It just asks me some name, so I can just give MySQL IAM auth and create policy, right? So this policy is created and it is attached to this IAM user, right? So that is how you can add inline policy. This is just an easy method to do. Otherwise you can create your policy and then like attach it to as many users as you want. So you can see action, which is RDS DB connect. So this is how we are giving permission for this IAM user to connect to this particular resource, and this is actually a key of what we are doing, right? Then fifth step is generate an AWS authentication token to identify the IAM user. So now from AWS CLI we want to generate authentication token, right? Just let me just go back and then AWS configure. If you have already configured, you do not need to do this. It's just a matter of giving your credentials, which will be used to connect to your IAM account. So that's it. So this is done. So now I can use the command which I just showed you to connect and get IAM authentication token, and that will be our temporary token which will we pass in our connection. Instead of password, we'll give that IAM authentication token, right? So this is how you will generate dbauth token, AWS RDS generate dbauth token, then host name, port, what we already seen this, and here username will be test user and region US East 1, which is my region. You can change it based on your specific region, right? So almost same command what we use for connection, but here we are generating DB authentication. So this is a database authentication. If you see the length of it is right, it is quite big. It is encrypted. It is a big one. It is very tough to guess, right? So that is advantage of it. So but to use that, right, it is a cumbersome. So what we are doing is we are setting up it as a environmental variable, which is token is equal to, and same command what we just generated, but it will put that token ID in this particular token variable, and that we'll use for next command to connect to the database. So let's do that. Token equal to right? And I will put all these commands in description so that it will be useful for you. So if you just echo that, right, token, you can see the same authentication token is there in this variable. So this variable is used instead of password. So that's how we use IAM authentication. It's that easy, but yeah, just to learn, it will just little bit of efforts we need to do, and when you see it yourself while doing it, right, it makes it easy to remember even. Okay, so this is how we connected, but we can even use SSL certificate to connect. So this is like, first thing is, sixth step is download SSL root certificate file. So this is our wget is the command to do that. So run this command on AWS CLI and download or certificate, root certificate, right? So this I already downloaded, but let me download it once again, it doesn't harm. So let me download it again, and so that you can see it yourself, like what happens when you do this wget. Yeah, so it's a quick thing, very lightweight certificate file. So this is what downloaded, right? So we can pass on this particular certificate in your connection. So connection is almost same, but you are adding SSL CA switch. So that is another addition to earlier command. And once you do that, this connection will be encrypted using SSL. Okay, just run this. That's it. So this authentication token is was already generated, so we can use it, and it's a temporary. So like if you try it after some time, it may not work. You just need to redo it, and that's how it is secure, because nobody can reuse the same token over and over again. So that's it. You may want to pause and reflect what we learned. So I would suggest pause video and just go through the steps what we have taken for setting it up, and same will hold true for PostgreSQL as well. Just a minor change in how we create the database ID. We learned a lot of things, and most importantly, we learned it by doing. Thanks for watching. Please do share this video with others so that we can help them learn as well. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss next videos I am coming up with.